This is Mitch, and welcome to the Real Estate Investor Summit podcast. I am here with Jason Criddle, and he thinks that real estate investing is way too much work and too labor intensive, and he has an idea on how to invest that's way more passive. He suggests that we invest in software companies and make our life easier. And while I am involved in the real estate business, it doesn't offend me. I'm always open for new ideas. I know there's always a better way to do things, and who knows? But before we get started, I want to pay homage to our sponsor, taxfreefuture.com. Please take a look at taxfreefuture.com. Watch the 37 little video vignettes, a lot of them on how to grow a little bit of money into a lot of money. One of the services that a lot of the self-directed IRA firms don't do. Also, we have a very low annual fee, $175. So learn how to self-direct your IRAs, your 401ks, whatever. We got a 24-year plus experienced attorney who specializes in only retirement plans. TaxFreeFuture.com. You have no idea what your financial advisors are not telling you, and we're going to tell you what they're not telling you. We're going to tell you why they're not telling you, and then we're going to let you make the logical decisions. TaxFreeFuture.com. Thank you very much. All right, Jason, I paid the bills. So I'm very interested in this. So last time I interviewed you, you had an offer for me to buy a startup or a young company at $1 a share. I didn't do it. It's now $6 a share, and that's the way my Wall Street, investments usually go. When I don't invest, they skyrocket. When I do invest, they crater and tank. So you might be glad I didn't. I was going to make my way there. I don't know what happened. I got busy. But if I had invested, maybe you'd be cratered by now, because that's how it works for me. So
right,
yeah.
We'd either be cratered or you would have made 6 times your money, but who knows, right?
I'm just joking around. So it's not, I'm not joking around. That's how it's normally gone for me, but there's bound to be a better way. So tell us a little bit about this idea of investing in softwares. I guess everything's good if you know how to do it. So explain to us where you're from and then where we're going with this.
Yeah, man. So you called it something earlier. You called it mailbox money, and that's one of the things that I've always thought about as far as software goes. Now, granted, it does take a little bit of work and a little bit of effort to build the infrastructure to get it up and running, just like it would take to build a house. But once you get that house built, then you can rent it out, you can lease it, you can sell it, you can earn equity on it, you can do all kinds of things. The difference with software, though, is we only have to build our house once. And so once we build our house that one time, we can take that thing and we can turn around and we can lease it out over and over again for pennies on the dollar.
And you can also improve it, I would imagine. You can keep adding on to this house, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. We can add on bedrooms, entire floors, and then not only that, but we're not limited to who we are giving that software to. And so I want to read an article that I've been working on. It's just a couple of paragraphs, and it goes right into what we're talking about. It says, "You've always invested in real estate. I get it, but." Let's see. And then as soon as I start reading it, it turns off. But the problem with real estate is it drastically limits your flow of income. You are limited by a specific demographic of people that have to be in one specific place during a limited amount of time, and you can only provide your product to a limited number of people at any given time. Let's not forget the fact that building infrastructure in new locations has substantial costs associated, bar none. Franchising was a safe bet in a pre-COVID world. One thing we learned is if you are not an essential business, your entire business and business model can be uprooted and all but taken away from you. The stock market is a much more volatile investment vehicle. It gives you the chance to gain or lose more at any given time and invest on a national and global scale. But the steady winners in that market are software companies, brands that started out as software projects built by angel investors and entrepreneurs. And while you may be seeing great returns now, the real money was made before those companies went public. And for the last few years, that market has grown, giving investors the ability to pour more money into digital and content-based investments than ever before, which is exactly why investors need to not only be investing in emerging software markets, but also looking at private secondary markets, software and software holding companies, and digital investments. And so that's what I got. And so whenever I look at all the different investment models out there and the ones that your mainstream audience is looking at, you have real estate, stock, franchising. Some people are looking at MLM. You have people that are starting up their own business. But one of the things that COVID showed us is, even though all these so-called essential businesses shut down, all of that traffic ran to the internet. Everybody was running online. And whenever I saw this bill come across, now who knows if it's going to pass, but whenever I saw this bill for the Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act and all the fluff that went into it, it really made me think about who is or who can be in control of real estate out there. If anything, if things got tough and the government decided to step in and basically call the shots on who can or who cannot invest, how much they can invest, how many properties they can own, then that's going to change the game for real estate investors. And so, again, all that traffic went online. We have 35 million, 40 million unemployed people right now. And what they're all doing is they're all running to places like Shopify, places like Smarter, places like Amazon, and they're all trying to sell everything it is that they can in their house, sell some kind of product or service, or just do whatever it is that they can to make money. And so if investors position themselves with the right software companies, then all of a sudden they don't have to worry about essential businesses and close downs and bills being passed that would negate their ability to invest in real estate.
I'm not going to ever believe that they won't invade your section of the industry too eventually, but they're more likely right now, they're putting more pressure on our side of the industry right now than they're not even trying to really conquer the internet right now,
right,
that aggressively that I know of. So I agree with you on that. And it has been scary. I mean, to tell you the truth, you think you own a property, you're not the owner, you're just leasing it from the government, because if you don't pay your property taxes, guess who you're going to find out who really owns it. Right. You're going to get foreclosed on by the county, or and then you'll understand who really owns this. Real estate is what is it? It's owned by the government, and we're all leasing it for a small, tiny fee every year, relatively tiny. I guess some of it's getting out of hand, even in houses. I mean, up here, they tripled my taxes in 1 year,
Right.
Did I like it? No. Was there much I could do about it? Well, I went down and fought, and I got it from triple down to, only a 40% increase, but still, it reminds me that I don't really own anything. I lease it from the government, right? And so what you're saying, and you made me think, what a good diversification bucket to have at least some other source of income that comes from something that doesn't have to be deemed essential to stay in business.
Yeah, one of the things, you're exactly right. And one of the things that I do, we put together a note product, and we were really thinking about real estate investors in mind. And so you have a lot of companies out there, software companies out there, that they're selling equity. And they make promises of, but there's investors that make hundreds of times their returns, 500 times their returns, 1,000 times their returns. And I think for the average person, that's kind of scary to say that you could gain this much money by investing in this. And so your average person tends to stay away from software companies. But even with our note, we put together something where an investor can earn 10 to 20%, depending on how much they put in, depending on how long they let it sit there. And the reason why that is so easy is because we earn at least 5 times. We earn at least $5 for every dollar we invest in customer acquisition. In a lot of the cases, we earn up to 600 times monthly recurring revenue for every single dollar that we invest in customer acquisition. And so to put something in place where an investor can just park some money and not have to worry about it, it's being backed by the success of companies, it's being backed by the success of other people's transactions. To me, that's real mailbox money. I don't have to worry about taxes going up, at least not yet, you know. There is going to be regulation coming in the next 4 or 5 years, I'm sure, because of all the traffic that's flocking online. But I don't have to chase down contractors. I don't have to know anything about drywall. And one of the things that you said earlier about the stock market, which I agreed with, the stock market is volatile. The stock market is based on emotion and speculation and everything that goes on in the news as well.
May I jump in here? I think, you know, I raised $24 million in private money because that many people agree with me. It's a rigged game, and the higher ups are getting notified or getting a hat tip when they need to get out or get in, or when something's about to happen, or a law's about to pass, or someone's about to get a grant. They're not calling me. I'm not high enough on the rung. You know what I mean? In most of America. So I think what you're saying is, why don't you get in with some individual companies or some individual concepts that you believe in, with some people that you trust, and then be part of that team that's all trying to go somewhere, instead of a conglomerate like, I don't know, pick any stock or any NASDAQ or any, you know, you're a 0.0000 something number, you know, you're tiny.
Right.
So I get it. And like the people that invested with me, I have $24 million on the street right this minute. They didn't come hand me millions of dollars at one time. They started with me slow. They, you know, I proved myself to them, and then I grew with them as they proved themselves, you know, and so I'm going to assume people do that with you too, is they put in a little bit at a time, and then they get confidence and they get paid, and then they put in some more, and then, you know, or do people just come drop millions on you?
Yeah, well, we've never had anybody drop millions, but they could, I guess, if they wanted to. But usually, you know, whenever you're talking about taxfreefuture.com, it made me go, I need to call these guys, because most of the people that are investing in Smarter, not just in Smarter, but in this field, people that are just getting into software companies, they're using self-directed IRAs. And so one of the things that I'm learning about this whole self-directed IRA thing is, you have just as many, like we're talking about right now, you have so many companies out there that have so many fees, and it's still kind of a new thing to a lot of people. And so whenever they're trying to figure out how it is that they can invest money, or how much they can invest money within a PPM like ours, that's one of the things that we need to cover, is self-directed IRAs. And when I found out that, how much is their fee per year?
It's $175 a year flat fee, and maybe for the 401k or something, there's some extra stuff, maybe $225, you know, but compared to the thousands I was having to pay.
Thousands.
I had four accounts, and it cost me 12 friggin' grand just to go to for another year. And I thought, for 12 grand, I mean, you know, in 4 years, 5 years, that's $60,000. I could have bought a whole house free and clear or something.
Right. That's money you could have invested.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm going to throw this out here real quick, just as a seed, because I don't want to forget. I would like for you to be an affiliate for taxfreefuture.com, and just put a tag at the beginning and the end of your podcast or whatever, if you have anything like that, so that you can be a privy and help people learn how to self-direct, so they can invest with you, or have an opportunity to invest with you.
No,
you know,
that makes sense.
I started that as a service because everybody that had money to invest, a lot of their wealth was tied up in 401ks or self-directed, traditional IRAs or Roth IRAs that they had no say-so over. And I said, there's a way you can get to that money by self-directing it, rolling it over to a self-directed account, and then you can choose what you want to do, and then you can invest in me if that's what you want, or you can give a little bit to me and you can do whatever you want. Give a little bit to me and give a little bit to Jason. So I was doing it so often that I went and teamed up with an attorney and just made my own company, taxfreefuture.com. So, you know, which also gave me a direct in to everyone who signed up. They were already my customer. So
Right.
it was very easy for me to call them up and say, I don't know what you want to do with that money you just rolled over, but may I throw my hat in the ring and give you a suggestion?
Right.
Hence how you raised $24 million.
No, I get it. And I'm definitely going to become an affiliate for it because it makes sense. Right now, we've been working with 2 different firms, and I believe both of those firms charge anywhere between $2,400 and $3,500 per year. And that's just like their starting, you know, of course, the bigger amount that you have invested in your account, then the more their fees are. But whenever you said that 175, 199, wow, that's huge.
Okay, well, here's the catch. I want to make sure you understand. Those people are free to sign up with. You know, we cost $1,500 to $1,800 depending on if you need an LLC or whatever, in addition to. So it's a one-time upfront fee, but then you never pay again but $175. Eventually, very quickly, the one-time upfront fee becomes very attractive. You know what I mean? Very attractive, especially if you're growing and moving and getting big fast, because they do have a, what is your overall investment portfolio worth? And then you got to pay a fee based on that worth. And the more you're worth, the more you pay. So, so the reason, I mean, the difference is we have a small upfront fee and low for the rest of your life. They have no fee, but they're going to kill you by the end of your life.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Mitch, whenever I saw this little bill come across the desk, this Rent and Mortgage Cancellation Act, and just like we were talking about the stock market, it just made me realize that, you know, I've been standing up on my little soapbox for years, talking to investors about how they should be looking at investing in private software companies, looking at private secondary markets. And it really took a crisis like this for my voice to start being heard. And now a lot of investors get it. And our phones have been ringing with a lot of people that have turned us down or turned us away over the years because they were so involved with real estate or they were involved with stock. But whenever I look at where we've gone from the inception of our company 5 years ago to where we are now, we've done nothing but grow. And we really can do nothing but grow. And I know that might sound a little egotistical, but our infrastructure is already built. And that's one of the beautiful things about software is infrastructure needs to be built once. Now we might upgrade and we might update and we might make changes here and there, but it costs us pennies to bring on a customer. And the amount of income that we make whenever we do spend those pennies to bring in that customer, it's enough to make it's enough to make real estate and stock investors go, no, that's too good to be true. And so, like I said, what we want to do is we want to put together something that allowed someone to earn just as much as they would in a real estate investment, but not having to deal with all the back end, all the work that goes along with it. Like you said, mailbox money. Let somebody take a small amount, let them invest wherever they want to, but throw 10 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand into a software company where you're earning 10 or 20% per year, and then just let it ride. And always have that as part of your portfolio, because I think a lot of investors are looking for 10 to 20% per year of return. It just depends on what amount of work do you have to put in order to make that return back.
But it's more than that, right? It's also how much risk is there and what get if it fails. And so I loan out money at 10%, but I got a hard piece of collateral, a tangible piece of real estate that people will get if they don't get paid as agreed. But that requires work, right? If you got the property back. But the chance of them making 20% or 25%, I can't offer that. So you have a different risk reward quotient, right? You know, they don't have a tangible piece of real estate. What do they have as collateral? They really just have a stock certificate, right? And I'm not talking down or up on either one of these. I'm just trying to note the differences in why they may be able to make 20 or 25%. It's a different risk reward quotient, which you can somewhat make a calculated decision on based on track record of this company or your track record, or you know what I mean? There's a
Right.
history of 5 years now. You can look at that. And I believe diversification is a real key. I've tried to diversify myself mostly within the real estate business, but I even have more excess money now. So you got me thinking about I should diversify into some other businesses that don't need to be deemed essential or non-essential. You know, they're just online.
Right. You know, one of the things that you'll like about this, the tangible item that we give, and it's in all of our documents, everything that we provide to investors, the tangibility that comes along with investing with us is we don't use your money. And so unless somebody's money is used in order for us to make income, unless we are investing in the couple of processes that we do over and over again that produce income, then the money is not touched. So absolute worst case scenario, somebody gets all of their return back. That's absolute worst case, is they would always get their principal. And then once we start using,
this money doesn't go to salaries or vacations or bonuses
not
for
at all.
anybody. It's just used for the advertising or the programming or whatever, right?
It's used for customer acquisition. That's it. And and we call it our monster. Our customer acquisition monster has been running so well for so long that we know exactly how much money we're going to make anytime we put any money in that bucket. So the more investment dollars that we put in there, the more everybody gets, the bigger the payoff for everybody. But the biggest thing that we can guarantee our people is we don't use any investment dollars for salaries. We don't even use investment dollars for upgrading our software. That's all used, profits are used for that. Whenever somebody invests with us, it sits in an account. It sits in escrow. And until we take a chunk of that money and specifically use it for customer acquisition, it's not touched. The very moment we do take that money and use it for customer acquisition, then we put your investment back, usually within days, even though somebody could be investing for months or many years. Their money is made back, their investments put back in the bank and everything within a couple of days of using that investment. It's completely different than what we were talking about. When you're dealing with real estate and you have the chance of taxes going up, you have the chances of expenditures going up. When you're dealing with the stock market, you're dealing with emotion, speculation. You're dealing with
global emotion,
the behavior of the herd at the time, right? Well, with us, it's a little bit different.
The behavior of the superpowers.
Right, exactly. With us, it's a little bit different. We're a merchant company, just like Amazon, Groupon, all these big companies out here that are processing transactions. That's why they're in the game, is all they want to do is process more and more transactions. So we have we have really cool software that people pay for, and then we want people to build their business. And so every single time a transaction is made through some company you've never heard of, then that's securing your investment. Every single time a new single mom signs up for another piece of our software and she starts paying her monthly service fee, that secures your investment. And all of these things are pennies. All of these things are such small amounts of money. And our investors are put into a pool of one huge company. So essentially, every single customer, every single user, everybody that comes into the Smarter system and uses any piece of it is securing someone's investment.
Wow, very interesting. So I want everyone to go to ariinvestorsummit.com / what's the word? Mailbox money. ariinvestorsummit.com / mailbox money. MAILBOXMONEY. All right, and this will get you back to the show notes, the section right behind this interview, which will have Jason Criddle and all the information that he needs to let you know about. There'll be contact information over there if you want to talk to him or his company personally about investing or what they're all about, get more details. just go to reinvestorsummit.com/mailbox money and learn how you might invest in young startup software companies, or I guess even established software companies at this point, right?
Yeah, pretty established, man.
Yeah. So you're in Dallas. I'm sure I'm sure you have references. I mean, someone want to check you out. You got some people they can call.
Yes. Not only am I what I call Googleable, like you, anybody can Google me. They can see all kinds of businesses that I've worked with, all kinds of references. We're more than happy to put anybody in touch with any of our investments, any of our investment partners, anybody that they would want to talk to.
Have you ever whitewashed your name?
Whitewash? What do you mean?
You know, you pay those companies to clean up your ugliness.
Oh, you know what? Luckily, I haven't had that much ugliness, man. I've only
That's
in
what
my entire
I wanted
in
to
my
add. You
no, in my entire online career, I've only had to deal with like a nasty ex-girlfriend and,
know.
and the ramifications that came with that. But no, man. One thing that I do pride myself in, especially whenever it comes to Smarter, whenever it comes to this company. It goes a little beyond following the rules. And what I mean by that is we're trying to make the new rules. And that was one of the reasons why we put SmartrHoldings together to begin with. We built the company as an investment vehicle. And so I've been following behavioral economics for a long time. 5 years ago, whenever I created Smarter, I thought it was going to be technology that changed the world the way it changed now. And so I always thought that by this time of 2020, we would be looking at 20 to 50 million people unemployed. I thought we would be looking at more of a universal basic wage being paid out. But it was a virus. And now this virus is here. And one of the major things that it has shown us is commerce can go online. And it might be another few years before things start being regulated. Regulation might come because of COVID, but in the meantime, there's a whole lot of e-commerce companies, not just mine. There's a whole lot of e-commerce companies that are out there that are going to be making a whole lot of money. And so regardless if an investor gets in contact with me about Smarter, about our convertible note products, about anything, then what they should do is use Google and start figuring this stuff out on their own. Start figuring out if there's places that they can put money where they can start seeing better returns and easier returns than just dealing with real estate and in the stock market.
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked you that question, because people would say, wow, I've researched you from one end to the other on Google, and like we can't find anything bad on you. Have you whitewashed your name? I say, no, I never needed to, because I did exactly what you said. I policed myself. I never borrowed up on properties. I know their worth. I never wanted to borrow more than 65%. If I needed more than 65%, I would put whatever I needed over 65% out of my own pocket. I never let my investors in. For 24 years, I watched over my investors to make sure that nothing could ever really happen to them. And on rare occasion, when things just went to crap in a handbasket, I just wrote a check myself. You know what I mean? On very few occasions, but once in a blue moon deal, when someone really deceived me or something just out of the blue just ruined something, my investors never knew. I just wrote a check, and solved the issue. That was, instead of making $1 million that year, I made, 950,000. It was still a good day, still a good year,
And it takes leaders like you and like me. I was having a conversation the other day, and we were talking about how much Smarter has grown. And it was one of my investors specifically, and he said, as cool as our software is, this company would not be where it is now if I were not the CEO. And it really made me feel exactly what you said just now. Like, I manage money like nobody's business. And anytime any investor puts even $1 into this company, the way I see it is that's their baby. That's your investment that you are trusting in me and my company to look over. And so I treat every single investment dollar like it is my own. And like you said, there have been plenty of times where we weren't going after investors. There's times where iOS made regulation changes or rule changes. There's been times where we've had to completely rewrite 20,000 lines of code. And I'm the one that fronts the bill every single time it happens. And I make sure that our investors are never put on the line. And not only that, but we stick by what we have in our PPM, which is basically, we only use your money for income producing processes. We don't use it for anything else.
Tell
So if
everyone,
we're not making money, we just give you back your principal.
tell everybody what a PPM is.
A PPM is a private placement memorandum.
Okay.
They're used by private companies. You can see people that are using them for insurance products, note products, any kind of security that they are selling that is not being currently regulated by the SEC.
So let's be clear. It's against the law to guarantee anything. And Jason's not guaranteeing anything. There's a risk associated with every financial move you'll ever make in your life. And with no exception, this one over there or this one here for that matter. But what I think both of us are always trying to convey is we'll be dead before it doesn't get paid.
Right, right.
And it'll probably even get paid when we're dead because the culture that we built all this time knows what to do when I'm not here.
Right.
It knows exactly how we've been running for 20 years or how you've been able to be successful in 5 years. They know exactly what it is. So, that's the point. And God bless you for policing yourself and having that attitude. I honestly want to put a couple of people in my car and just drive to Dallas and talk to you about a few things.
Man, I'm looking forward to it. The last time we connected in September, you and me were gonna jump on the phone with a couple of people. We never did, man. I'm ready whenever you are.
I've had a lot of things happen in the last year. A lot of things happen. And I'm usually pretty busy to begin with, so they were just normally life events, people passing away and things that happens to everybody, but they take a certain amount of time in recovery time. But maybe it's better if you come to the ranch.
I'm down. Just let me know when to go.
All right. We'll talk soon. So you guys, I want you to go to REInvestorSummit.com/mailbox money. And let's make, I think I've already messed that up, but try Mailbox Money. Yeah, Mailbox Money. And get a handle on how to connect with Jason and his team and learn more about what's going on. I'm sure there'll be plenty of contact information. Did you have a giveaway? Or I didn't think there was a giveaway for this because there's not really anything to give away about it. So,
no giveaway, man. But what I will be happy to do is any of your clients, anybody that calls, anybody that wants to talk, I'll be more than happy to jump on the phone with them myself. And so I've written a couple of books about this. I write on Forbes about this. I'm a little bit of a recognized expert in software investing. And so if anybody has any kind of questions that would go above and beyond, a 1 or 2 minute inquiry that they could put online, I'll be more than happy to spend some time with them and educate them. And like I said, even if they're not interested in investing in Smarter, if they just want to learn a little bit more about the private software market, I'm more than happy to jump on the phone with them and teach them.
They'll have all that information over there so you can get in touch with him. So I appreciate you. Anything else you want to say maybe before we wrap it up today, Jason?
Smarter has some pretty cool pieces of software out there. Our affiliate software is still blowing and going. We just came out with a new Smarter Marketing app that is SMARTR Marketing. So if anybody needs an affiliate app for their business, all they got to do is go to the iOS or Android App Store, download Smarter Marketing. Whenever you register and you jump in the app, you're going to be prompted to enter a referral code. Enter the referral code Mitch, MITCH. That's all I got, man.
That'll all be over there as well. So you don't have to have that memorized. So if you get over there, you'll learn about that. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking the time, Jason.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on again, Mitch.
Don't hang up before this is over. I want to talk to you.
Okay.
To all your listeners out there, I would like to say thank you for stopping by to get you some Jason Criddle. and learn or get that little seed planted about maybe some diversification, investing in software companies. They have a different value, especially during times like this pandemic. So they have a whole new light shed on it, now with the current events. So I'd like to thank you all for stopping in. Thank you for taxfreefuture.com for sponsoring this episode. Please check out taxfreefuture.com. You won't believe what your financial advisors are not telling you. All right, this is Mitch Stephen with the Real Estate Investor Summit podcast. We're out of here.